Hello, 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 it's your pal Jopless here, and welcome to Mini Metro. Now, for those of you who have not heard or played this game before, it is a top-down indie puzzle game where you are in charge of a growing transportation system, a metro, subway, or underground train network, whatever you call it, depending on whatever country you're in. And the goal of it is to grow as big as possible and to process as many passengers as possible before overcrowding sets in and you have to shut your stations down. So we're going to get right into it. There's several cities to choose from. We're going to go with London, but I'll just show off some of the others. So we've got New York, Berlin, Hong Kong, Stockholm, St. Petersburg, San Francisco, Seoul, Washington, Singapore, Cairo, Istanbul, Shanghai, etc., etc. There's a bunch of cities from all over the globe. Each of these cities has their own unique properties, regardless of the map. So most cities have a river or a dock or a bay or something that you have to manage around. Some of them have unique trains, some of them have limited lines, so that each one's slightly different. So we're going to play with London because it's my home city and it's the first one available to you in the game, so it's a good starting point. Now we're presented with 3 stations. We have our pizza slice, our pizza, and our pizza box. And down at the bottom we have currently 3 lines we can make. We have 3 separate locomotives, and we have the ability to create 3 tunnels under the river. So we're going to create 2 lines just to start in this formation. What we're going to try and do is avoid having any of the same station on the same line, because people going from a triangle station do not want to go to another triangle station. Same with circle and square. And if we have too many of the same station on the same line, then we get a situation where our carriages become filled, we can't pick up any more passengers, and then those stations become overcrowded and we lose the game. At present, we only have our 3 main locomotives, our 3 main carriages, so they can only hold 6 passengers each. So we have to be careful of that and make sure we don't get into a situation where it becomes too overcrowded and we can't take any more passengers on. Down here, another station has come about. Several triangles already, so I'm going to actually alter this blue line. Go circle, square, circle, and then to that triangle there. Nice little loop. And so we've used up 2 of our tunnels, and we only have 1 spare, and I'm going to keep that spare for emergencies. Ideally, I would like to have 2 spare, just so I can actually create a proper loop, because with this 1 spare at the moment, it just means I can only create a single line, and if I need to loop one of these lines around underneath the river, I cannot do that just yet. Now, I'm going to ask you just to spend like 10-20 seconds just listening to the music of this game. So I'm going to mute my mic for it. I'm going to remember to unmute my mic this time and not waste footage like I did previously. You don't know about that, thankfully. Now you do. I've told you. I recorded this video previously and I got to the end. I thought, oh, that was a decent video. I quite enjoyed how that turned out. I was muted the entire time. It's just useless. Alright, we've now approached week 2. I will mute my mic in just a second so we can listen to music where we get a new locomotive and we can choose between either a new line or a new carriage. A carriage you can attach to any of the existing locomotives on your lines, and it gives you 6 more spaces for passengers, so you can pick up more passengers from each station. At the moment, we don't have tons of passengers about, so I'm going to choose a new line just to give us a bit more flexibility over in certain areas. So I'm going to expand this red like this. Perfect. The yellow I think is fine just for the moment, and we've got that spare line in reserve. And now let's mute and listen to the music for just about 30 seconds or so. Alright, I will talk about the music in just a second. I just want to point out that we have now a unique station to our left. We generally will get a few of these, but they will never be the same type. We have one of each, and so we've got to make sure our lines connect to it either by connecting to other lines. We just make sure we've got enough connections, so if passengers say over here, they would travel all the way to square, and then the yellow train would take them there. And so we need to make sure that that square doesn't get too overcrowded. Same with anyone from the blue, they would go to the square. At the moment, this station can only be reached through the yellow line from that square. They will always go to the square because it's the closest station to it. Now, I wanted you guys to listen to the music just for a second because it is very unique. It's a lovely minimalistic soundtrack. It's very peaceful. It was made by composer Disasterpiece, but it's also extremely unique in the fact that, like the stations in each map, the music procedurally generates. Instead of creating individual tracks for every single map, what Disasterpiece did instead is he created sets of corresponding tones and rhythms, and as you play each city, as more stations appear and as you grow and change where your network is going, the music shifts and subtly change. And so each musical experience you hear in this game, no matter how many times you play, it's slightly different each time. It's unique each time. It's such a wonderful thing to know. We've reached week 3 now, so we can get a new locomotive, get some more tunnels, which is perfect. We don't need the carriage, that's fine. I'm going to use those tunnels, and I am going to use my line, my extra tunnels and my extra line, just like this, like that. So now there's a couple triangles, there's a couple circles, and there's one square on that new line, and it's going to go around our center, and it's going to make sure everything is fine and dandy. I don't think there's much really more to tell you about this game. There's a few other things like interchanges which come about. They make sure that stations have just a bit more capacity for passengers before they overcrowd. They're useful, say, like I would turn this square into an interchange if I had one available, just because it's in a situation where there's going to be a lot of people waiting there, where if the yellow line's over there here and there's tons of people waiting to go here, then that station can become overcrowded very, very fast. But aside from that, there's not really much to tell you guys about this game. It's on Steam. It's only £6.99, so I would recommend you get it. It's a very peaceful game. It's very addicting to play. You can sink a lot of hours into it very quickly without realising. It's very easy to lose track of the time in it. I can't recommend it enough. That's all I can say. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you do get and enjoy the game. This has been Joeopolis, and I am signing off.